Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this sewing dress, and if that's something that you would like to see, definitely keep watching. It promises to be another fun and detailed tutorial, and I'm sure by the time you're done watching this video, you'll be able to make your own sewing dress. If you haven't subscribed guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to like this video because I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy it. Thank you so much guys, and enjoy the video. To make your sewing dress, you will need the following items. You will need your measuring tape. You would also need a hand needle. I've got a couple of hand needles sitting here in my pin cushion. You will need a button, and this can vary depending on what kind of button you want to use. So I'm going for this one here, and it's going to work perfectly for me. You will need your fabric scissors. You would also need your tailor's chalk or fabric marker depending on what you normally use. You need some pins, and of course you'll need your fabric. So I've got about 3 yards of Ankara fabric right here. Start off by folding your fabric into 2 along the yard. So that means if you had 3 yards of fabric like me, after folding into 2, you should have 1.5 yards. Then go ahead and fold at an angle as shown. Okay guys, so in order to explain properly, I've gone ahead to get this white paper, and I'm just marking the part where it's supposed to be my 3 yards, which is the wider part. Gone ahead to fold it into 2 like so. Now I have 1.5 yards. Okay, are you guys following? You want to take the folded edge and then you want to bend it over like I'm doing right now so that it goes to the separated edges, and then it does leave some gap. That gap will be the zip allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and do it again. You want to fold your fabric into 2 like that, and then you want to take the folded edge over at an angle to meet the separated edges. I hope you guys understand it now, making sure to leave that gap for your zip allowance. So we're going to do the same thing over to the fabric, which is what we've done now. Be sure to leave a space of about 1 inch between the separated edges and the folded edge. The 1 inch allowance you are leaving should be on the separated edges, which will be where the zip allowance will be. So go ahead and pin the folded edge to the separated edge and then mark out the zip allowance of 1 inch. You want to start marking your zip allowance from the folded edge, and you want to mark outwards towards the separated edge, just like I am doing right now. Next, mark out half the shoulder measurement plus 0.5 inches horizontally, and the best way to do that is to place your measuring tape horizontally until you are able to get that figure. In my case, the figure is 7.5 plus 0.5, which is 8 inches. After getting that figure, you want to measure starting from the folded edge, and then you want to mark out your desired length and draw a horizontal line, which is what I have done at the moment. Starting from the folded edge, mark out the desired neck width on the horizontal line. In my case, I went with a neck width of 4 inches. Then mark out the desired front neck depth, and in this case, I went with about 4 inches as well. Then draw in the neckline as shown. This will be the front neckline. For the back, mark out the desired back neck depth, and you want to mark this out starting from the separated edge, and then go ahead and draw in the neck curve. You should have your back neck curve higher than the front neck one. Starting from the shoulder line, mark out the shoulder to bust point measurement plus 0.5 inch allowance as shown. This point will be the bust point. Then go ahead and mark out the armhole line, which will be 2 inches above the bust line. At the armhole line, mark half the shoulder measurement plus 0.5 inches allowance horizontally. Connect the shoulder measurement on the shoulder line to the same point on the armhole line with a vertical line as shown. Then go ahead and draw in the armhole curve. So if you're confident in your freehand abilities, go ahead and draw in the curve with your freehand. If not, you can definitely shop my pattern master and some other tools that I've got in the links in the description bar. However, they are affiliate links. Mark 1 inch vertically on the armhole depth line and then connect to the neck width point with a slant line to give the shoulder slope. On the bust line, mark out 1/4 of the bust measurement plus 1.5 inches allowance. That will be 1 inch for the ease allowance and then 1/2 inch for the sewing allowance. Draw a slant line outwards from that point where you have your bust point measurement plus 1.5 inch sewing allowance. You want to draw a slant line from that point towards the hem. So at this point, I strongly recommend that you use a long ruler if you have one. However, if you would like to shop one, I have links in my description bar below. So do check out the links and you can definitely shop one or two similar to what I'm using at the moment. Cut along the chalk marks, making your way from the hem to the back neckline. Do not cut out the front neckline. Starting from the shoulder points, mark out the desired dress length for the front. Because it's a high-low, the front is expected to be shorter than the back. So you want to go ahead and mark out the desired dress length for the front, and then you also want to mark out the desired dress length for the back. Afterwards, connect the front length and the back length to the side seam. You want to connect the front length to the side seam with a straight line, and then you want to connect the back length to the side seam with a curve. Cut along the marked lines. So you want to start cutting from the back and then you want to cut out the curve to the side seam. Next, to cut out the front, you want to make sure that you separate the front from the back and then you cut only the front piece so that you don't accidentally cut out the back piece in the process. So as you can see, I'm lifting my front piece from the back piece and then cutting, making sure I'm only cutting the front piece. To cut out the front neckline, unpin the pieces and then fold away the back piece so that you don't accidentally cut it off. Then go ahead and cut out the front neckline as shown. At this point, we are literally done cutting our front and back pieces. After marking my zip allowance on the back pieces, I had just a little tiny bit of fabric and I forgot to trim that off. So you want to make sure that you trim off any excess of fabric at the zip allowance area. Pin the back pieces together along the zip allowance. Starting at the back neck depth, measure and mark out 7 or 8 inches vertically. This will function as our button slit. Mark out the sewing allowance of 1 inch starting from the 7 or 8 inches point all the way to the hem, and then go ahead and sew along those marks. After sewing, this is what it looks like. Go ahead and finish the back neckline with your bias tape. After turning the back neckline with the bias tape, fold in 1 inch at the button slit as shown and then pin it into place. So you want to do this on both sides, on the left side and on the right side as shown. One side will sit the button loop while the other side will sit the button itself. Fold this away and then cut out a small piece of fabric that measures 4 inches by 1.5 inches. Guys, forgive my mistake, it is not by 15 inches as shown on the screen. Actually, it is by 1.5 inches. So you need it to be 4 inches long and then 1.5 inches wide. Go ahead and pipe the small strip of fabric as shown. After piping, this is what it should look like. To make a button loop, fold the pipe strip over as shown and then check to see that the button fits. When you're happy with the result and the button fits, hold it into place with a pin and then go ahead and sew over it. I would usually place my button loop on the left side of my back slit. You want to make sure you pin your button loop to the inside of your back slit and then sew it into place securely. Fix the button to the opposite side of the slit, and at this point your back piece is ready. Put away the back piece and then grab the front piece. For the front piece, you want to finish off the neckline with some bias tape. After finishing the front neckline, place the front piece flat on the table so that the right side is facing up. Then go ahead and place the back piece on the front piece so that the right sides of both fabric are facing each other. Pin the sides together and mark out the sewing allowance of 0.5 inch, which is half an inch. You want to repeat this on the other side as well. Sew the sides together along the marks. After sewing the sides, go ahead and pin the shoulders together and mark out the sewing allowance of half an inch. Sew along these marks and then repeat this for the second shoulder as well. After sewing the shoulders, your dress should look like this. At this point, if you wanted a sleeveless dress, your dress is practically ready. All you need to do is close up the armhole or finish the armhole with some bias tape. However, I'm adding sleeves to mine, so I do need to measure out the armhole, which is the next step. Measure out the armhole in preparation for the sleeves. To cut out the sleeves, get some scrap piece of fabric. So I had this scrap piece of fabric from cutting the dress earlier, and I've gone ahead to fold it into two. It's actually 2 pieces, so which is fine. If you had just 1 piece, you want to fold it into 4, but because I have 2 pieces, I'm folding it into 2, and then you want to check that the length is fine. Afterwards, mark out the desired sleeve length vertically all around like I'm doing right now, and then starting from the folded edge, you want to mark out the armhole measurements that you've just taken all through as well. So right now you should have markings that are kind of like a rectangle. At the hem, you want to mark out half the bicep measurements plus 1 inch sewing allowance, and then starting from the top, you want to mark out 5 inches vertically as shown. Then go ahead and draw in the S-shaped armhole curve. With a slant line, connect the bicep measurements to the 5-inch drop point and then cut along all these points as shown. Hem the ends of both sleeves by folding in 1/2 inch twice. So basically, when I was cutting my sleeves and I said my sleeve length was 7 inches, I had gone ahead to add 1 inch for the hemming and 1/2 inch for the top. So basically my sleeve length was actually about 5.5 inches. Fold each sleeve into 2 and notch the sleeve crown of both sleeves. Then go ahead and pin the sides and mark out the sewing allowance of 1 inch at the sides and sew into place. So I've gone ahead to fix one of the sleeves to the dress, and I'm going to fix the second one here so I can explain. So the first thing you need to do is you want to locate the side seam on the dress and the seam on the sleeve, and you want to match those together and hold in place with a pin. Afterwards, locate the shoulder line on the dress and the notch on the sleeve crown and pin that in place as well. Then go ahead and pin the sleeve to the armhole all around, making sure the right sides of both fabric are touching each other after pinning. After pinning the sleeves to the armhole, go ahead and sew the sleeves in place. It's possible that the sleeve is slightly bigger than the armhole, but that's absolutely fine. You want to ease it in while sewing, making sure to avoid any pleats that might form. Hem the ends of your dress, and at this point your dress is now finished, so go ahead and give it a good iron. And this is what your dress should look like. It should be longer at the back and slightly shorter in front because it's a high-low dress. Alright guys, so we've come to the very end of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it was worth your while. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to leave your comments, suggestions and feedback in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. I absolutely love reading from you. Guys, don't forget to follow me on social media with the handles being shown on the screen. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!